Good afternoon everyone, we are live in the Carnation Crafters group. So as always, we will give it a little bit of time just so everyone that can join us live will be able to find us. I'm getting all sorts of weird things on my screen, bear with me. Let me see if I can turn that off. Oh, I don't know. Hopefully you can see and hear me. It's always a complete mystery to me whether this is actually working or not. Do type up in the comments. Let me know that you can see and hear everything okay. Let me know what you're up to, how you are. It's pretty rainy out there today, so it's a great day for crafting in the afternoon. Let me just press that. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Who knows? It could be anything. I haven't got any comments coming up yet, so I'm not sure whether it's working properly or not, or whether I'm just chatting away to myself, which is quite possible. So my name's Hannah. I'm the brand ambassador for Carnation Crafts. Yeah, I really can't see any comments. Oh, there we go, there's one, yay! Maybe it's just really slow today. Hi Karen, thank you for messaging in. It's always good. Oh, there we go, okay, yeah, now it's working. I think that was a special button I must have just pressed. Fiona, oh, you did make me laugh earlier, Fiona, with your little sneaky peek requests. And hi Michelle, and hi Sylvia. Oh great, lovely to have your company. Thank you so much ladies and gentlemen for joining me. Yeah, so the idea of the Facebook Live demonstrations that we do in group is to go over any requests for demonstrations. You'll find if you're new to the group, there is a pinned post at the top of the page in the announcements, which is basically your request post. So do be sure, if there's anything you really want to see demonstrated live, by all means go and pop your request on that post, because it gives us a really good way of being able to track what people would like to see. And that way we can build little demonstrations around those requests and then bring them to you, usually on a Thursday at 3, work dependent. So this is what we're up to today. So this afternoon is all about you guys. If you've got questions as we go through, by all means type them up. Anyone who is familiar with my Facebook Lives knows it's always a bit of a disaster when I'm trying to read and reply and demo and work a camera all at the same time, but we will do our best. So by all means, chatter away, let me know what you would like to see. I'm just going to scroll back and just see, because we've got lots of people messaging, which is lovely. Thank you so much for your company. We have got, who have we got? So we have got Amanda's here. Hi Amanda, and Penny. Yeah, lots of rain clouds on that post. So I guess it's raining where you are too. Sylvia's here. Sandra's here, and Kathleen and Christine and Pauline and Florence. I know Pauline and Florence joined us last week as well, so thank you guys. No, hang on, I was on air last week, so the week before. Oh goodness me, don't the days just get away from you now? Sue's here, and Paul and Carol, Alison and Sylvia, brilliant. Oh, Valerie's watching on silent whilst at the hairdressers. I like that, that's really good. Oh my goodness me, I know, look, I've managed to have my fringe trimmed. That was getting beyond urgent at that point. It's been an ongoing struggle with the old fringe in lockdown, but there we go. So thank you all for joining us. Today what we're going to look at is one of, I'd say probably the top requests that we get, which is what are the split mat and layer dies and how do they work? So we're going to have a little look at those. We're going to see how they work just by building a card. So it's going to be a really simple demonstration, but hopefully it will give you guys the confidence to go out and try the different mats and layers and the split mat and layer dies that are within most of the packs of die sets that we do. Michelle, I found printing vignettes can be hit and miss. Do you have any tips on to make sure they lined up properly? Yeah, absolutely. So first things first, I would always encourage you, if you can, I've got to be really careful that I don't give the game away on anything. Use Pro Paper to get a really good high quality finish. So Pro Paper ensures that the ink stays on the surface, so it doesn't like penetrate into the paper as far. The fibres I think are closer together, so it sits on the surface, which gives you a much better colour representation of the vignettes. And if anyone's not sure what a vignette is, it's basically our coloured artwork that we produce that you can download from our website, print off, lay your dies over the top and then cut. Make sure the Pro Paper, I know this sounds like a ridiculous thing to say, but I do this all the time. You've probably seen some of my demos on air. if you don't have the paper straight in your tray, because there's little clips either side of the print tray, obviously depending on the machine you're using, make sure those are nice and tight and butted up against the Pro paper so the paper feeds straight into the printer as well. So that's one key tip. If you're using mirrored vignettes, you need to cut exactly on the black, or fold exactly on the black line. The easiest way to do that is to cut either end, fold it, and then use the mirrored vignettes as well. Also ensure whenever you are printing anything, be it for the USBs, be it for the die sets, even down to the backing papers and things like that, always, 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 I can't stress that enough, select either actual size or 100% on your print settings. It's not on the printer itself, it will be on the print program that you are using to download. And as for programs, I would recommend Adobe. It's a free software, Adobe Reader, to open your PDFs. It is the easiest software for me personally to use, but it's the easiest software to kind of navigate to find the wording actual size or 100%. Wording does differ between programs, and also you need to make sure things like borderless printing, just the random settings aren't selected. It just needs to be normal set, but make sure that you select actual size. Now, I've seen a couple of people saying Pro paper is all sold out. Stay tuned. I'm not allowed to say anything else at this minute in time, but do stay tuned on that one. Hopefully that answers that question, Michelle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the camera around and we're going to begin the demonstration for the split mat and layer dies, but I will continue to answer questions if anyone does have them as we go through the demo, so bear with me. Yes, okay, cool. There we go. So we're still set up, as you can see, working from home. I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks or so to get back to my studio, which is a nice sort of bigger place to work from, and hopefully, you know, that means we'll be able to bring you a few more videos and things throughout the week as well. Hi Jan, yes, I am having a good day, thank you. We are just busy prepping upcoming shows. I think I can say that without giving too much away. So the split mat and layers, let me grab the die set. This is a well-loved die set. It's actually our very first die set. I thought I'd go kind of neutral with the card shape and design for this particular demo, because this look and this idea of the split mats and layers can be used with any of the die sets that have those split mats and layers. So we've gone with this one. This is the Carnation die, and you have obviously the Carnation as the base layer, like so. You then have all of the decoupage layers as well. These ones are numbered, so they do line up with the numbers on the flowers as well. And these make that lovely sort of fluffy look to the design, fluffy look to the finish. And we do have what is your sort of standard, if you like, mat and layer, okay? So this works as a highlighting device once you've cut this part out and decoupaged it up. It might be something you're slightly more familiar with. Just think exactly in the same terms as, you know, when we cut a mat and layer for a card and you're going down in smaller increments, that's what that idea is. It sort of gives you a little hug around the edge of the die set. What we also have are the split mat and layers. Now they do come split, they are meant to be split, so don't worry if you open your package and think, oh, it's broken or something like that. No, they are absolutely meant to be split like so. Okay, we're going to be using those and we're going to be building up our card design. Now I have already cut and layered the Carnation itself, but I will just show you that. Here we go. The Before the Rainbow die sets and vignettes do have the mirrored version now as well. And when we say mirrored, this means the artwork that you can cut using your die sets, and then it's folded in half, so you get the back of the die cut is just as colourful as the front. And for me personally, I prefer pin filler glue gel to layer up my decoupage. But remember what we always say, don't ever stick things flat. Give them a little bit of shape, give them a little bit of body to make them look more realistic. Pam's got the heating on in July. Yeah, it is cold. I had to put a jumper on this morning and my slippers, which is crazy when you think it's the middle of July. Lindsay's late to the party. Don't worry, we haven't started yet. We've just been nattering. It's absolutely fine, Lindsay. Thank you for joining us. Cheryl's here as well. Christine, finger lift tape, you make it look so easy. But I get in a mess matting and layering. Oh yeah, absolutely. We can go over that when we've Christine, when we get to that bit of the demonstration. Yeah, I can absolutely show you little tricks with that on how to make using your mats and layers a little bit more easy. Right, so that's going to go to one side. So first off, I've already cut that smaller, that first mat and layer from the fixed, I don't know what to call it, the mat and layer, this one, the joined one, okay? But I want to create a little edge to that, so I want to create another mat and layer. So I'm simply going to use the two halves of the outermost mat and layer, the split mat and layer. We're going to position them on the green card like so. And then we're going to use a little bit of tape. This is repositionable tape. Little tip, I use Scotch tape. I'll show you a picture of the packaging. Scotch removable tape, just because I find it's the one that doesn't cling. It's a nice, easy to take off tape. It doesn't rip your paper. But if you're using anything else, take the sticky off on your clothes, like so, before you stick it on the paper or card. And whenever you're sticking your die in place, actually, let's do it one by one. Hold it in place, and rather than going right over, so you're not bringing the tape over the centre of the die, stick it on the die and then the part of the card that you're not going to be using. If I was cutting this as an aperture, so if I was going to use the outside of the card in my design and have the hole as the feature, I'd pop the tape on the inside because it just reduces any risk of tearing. A little bit more repositionable tape. And you see how just laying it over the edge of the die like so, it just holds it in place, but it means the area that I'm going to use doesn't have any sticky and doesn't have any tape on it. Line up that die set, top and bottom, so the edges meet. Don't overlap them, just so they butt up against one another. And then we just hold it in place and secure it using that repositionable tape. Christine, is the Carnation die on the website? Do you know what? I didn't actually check before I started this demonstration. So you'll have to pop on there and have a look. I'll give you the code. The code is 190302. 190302. A couple of people asking how to remove the dies from the packaging. So a little tip for you on that one. Obviously this one's well loved, so this has got, well, it's got all sorts on it by the looks of it, so it's going to come off easier. Don't try and just pull straight from the paper, the card, because this has sticky double-sided tape on to hold those dies in place when they're in transit. It makes sure that they arrive with you in pristine condition and they don't bump about when they're in transport. So if you just bend, gently bend and release. Obviously this has been used a lot, so the sticky is less sticky, but you just bend, find where the tape is and bend the card away from the die, then remove the die, rather than trying to do it the other way around, because, you know, some of them you get really fine dies with lots of detailing on them. You don't want to run the risk of damaging the die by bending the die or anything like that. So each time, just bend the paper away or the card away, and then ease the die away itself. Hopefully that helps with that query. So our die, it has our repositionable tape on, just making sure that's nice and secure. And into our die cutting sandwich it goes. So again, lots and lots of people ask me, what is the recommended plate combination? I'm using a cut and emboss, so I can only sort of advise on what I use as a plate combination, and I will put it up in the comments, as I often do after these Facebook lives. But I use D, then the B plate, which is like the translucent plate, then an A plate, then I pack it with a couple of sheets of 250 GSM card. The reason I do that is because my plates have lots of markings on them, and if I was to sort of put my card down onto the plates, those markings would transfer into card, because I'm using sort of our perfect paper, so it's slightly shiny. Use a fresh, I mean, these will work for quite a while, but if they get like really badly damaged, these pieces of cards, swap them out for a fresh piece. And then that just stops any of the transfer from the plates onto the card. if I'm using something like one of the frames where I've got to line it up and keep it all like the apertures in line and things like that, then use the magnetic shim and hold the dies in place that way. Then we have our die and our card cutting side up. So I've just flipped that over, oops, on the cutting plates like so. So die cutting side up, you can feel on the die, although we say cutting side, it's not sharp, so you can feel which side is the cutting side. Then the card, obviously with the repositionable tape on. Then cut tidy, again, just because cut tidy gives you that extra little bit of oomph as it goes through the machine. Also, if I'm using like a big expansive card, I'd probably swap this out because this has been used quite a few times for a fresh piece. So it's the same sort of thing as well. Anything that's on your plates will transfer onto your card if there's lots and lots of wear on it. So the best thing to do is just swap that out into something fresh. If it's a layer you're going to use and it's going to be in the foreground of your design, then we go a plate on top. So I will pop the details up of the plate combinations I used for the standard dies, and into the machine it goes. So a couple of my lovely DT have checked. Sandra and Pam both say that the Carnation die and stamp set is on the website. So thank you, ladies, for doing that for me. Have we got the bride and groom and the garden die? Yes, I believe so, Sylvia. It would be worth checking the website on those ones. At last check, they were available on there this morning, I believe. And here we go. So that is cut out like so. And you see how by sort of butting those two dies up to one another, you can get this wonderful aperture effect. Now, if there is any little pips where those dies have met, just take a sharp pair of scissors and trim that around just to neaten off any edges. It just gives your card a little bit more of a professional finish. Same with the bottom, just trimming those pips. Okay, I'm going to pop those to one side just for the minute. We are going to use it in another way in just a moment. But you see how if we take the other layer and line it up, you get this lovely effect from the mats and layers, this framing device. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and stick this one to the other one. What do I want to stick it with? That's a good question. Let's stick it with foam. So I'm going to be using 1mm foam just to give it a little bit of height. You can stick it with glue, you can stick it with finger lift tape, whatever you prefer. I have to say I am a little bit obsessed with 1mm tape, to be perfectly honest. So a little strip down the middle and a snipping that way. I have a sticky pair of scissors. I say a sticky pair of scissors. It's a pair of scissors that I use for any sticky work. And then I have a paper pair of scissors as well, so I don't mix the two up. It's just ease. It just gives you a little bit of a neater finish with these things. So just a few little supporting areas for the foam as well. And then whenever we're sticking, we just peel away the carrier sheet like so. And then we need to line up. So I'm going to be doing this sort of off to one side, so hopefully I can get it nice and straight, because obviously I'm trying to film and stick and everything else at the same time. So if you're doing this at home, you know, get over the die set easily. And peeling away the middle foam and the edge foam there as well. If you're finding it's difficult to grab hold of the carrier sheet for the tape, use a pokey tool to lift the edges and peel away and flatten down. And there you've got a really pretty, it just gives it a little bit more prominence, I feel, when you come to use your toppers and things like that. So that's going to be part of our card. I'm going to pop that to one side just for the minute. What make is my foam tape? Do you know what, Alison? I don't actually know. I believe it's actually insulation tape for like double glazing rather than craft tape. But, you know, we can be resourceful, us crafters. Sandra says, I soak my cutting plates in boiling water. It removes the paper fibres and flattens the plates. Yeah, that's an absolutely brilliant idea. Should have said, actually, when you are using your plates, that plate combination that I've given you reduces the amount of bowing that you might get on the plates. But yeah, you can absolutely turn them around making sure you do it so even distribution to flatten the plates as you go. But yeah, absolutely be careful. Obviously, if you're putting them in boiling water, I have to say that during a Facebook Live. But yeah, that is another way to get them nice and straight. Thank you, Sandra, for that tip. Perfect. Okay. Daphne's here as well. Hi, Daphne. Okay, so we're going to be making like a fold back card. So I've got my mats and layers, and when we say mats and layers, it's these framing devices. So it's the same sort of idea that we've used here with the dies, but we've just transferred it and used it on paper. So whenever you're using mats and layers, whenever you're cutting card down to size, try out size increments that you like working with and just see how it looks. So for this one, we're going in with a dark green to pick up the dark green from the carnation stem, and also a light pink to go with the light pink on the carnation as well. We're using finger leaf tape on the back just to stick these all in place, and we're going to be using this sort of fold back design. So this card is just simply a strip of card that has been scored at 2.5 inches and 2.5 inches. It's then been trimmed at 2, 3, 4, 5 and 3/4 for this part here. So that's 10 3/4 in total. And then it measures, how long? 7 inches in height. Little tip for if you're making your own card blanks, what I would suggest, or what I do, is I score first. So I use either an A4 page or an A3 page, score first and then trim it down to the size I want, because it's quite nice to offer up the die sets and just see how it looks before you start trimming your dies. Obviously, if you've got specific size envelopes you want to use, just adjust the settings, adjust the sizes for your envelopes. Alternatively, make your envelopes to match your card blanks as well. Okay, this gives you this lovely sort of fold out design, but this is where the split mats and layers really do come into their own. So what we're going to do, I'm going to put my mats and layers to one side. I'm going to cut it first. I'm going to grab the split mats and layers again off of the card like so. And because you've got this ability to use them in 2 halves, it really does open up the craftability with these. Then just going to reuse my tape as well, because repositionable tape does just that. We can use it several times before it ultimately loses all stick ability. And we're going to create a nice sort of pop out effect. Now the way to do this is to grab your die, the one that you're going to be using on this side. That one's going to go back in the packet in a moment. And you see how we can line it up with that first score. So with this score at 2.5 inches, we can line up 1/2 of the mat and layer, little split die. I'm going to take our tape and we're just going to stick that over the die set and into the middle. Now I am covering this bit up, okay, eventually in the rest of the design. So I'm quite happy to stick my tape over the edge of the die and into the centre of the pop out bit, because when we come to put the card together, we're going to be sticking over this, so it doesn't matter if we get any sticky tape on here, it really doesn't. This, you might be able to guess where we're going with this. The key is to make sure the ends, top and bottom of that split mat and layer, are butt up against that score at 2.5 inches, or whatever size you're making your card to. We're going to pop that into our plate combination again, cutting side up, and then cut tidy an A plate on top and run it through our die cutting machine. Is that making sense so far? Hopefully it is. Do let me know. Okay, any questions, guys, whilst we're waiting for the die cutting machine to do its thing? Do let me know, do type up in the comments. Okay, so now we can remove the top plates and the card from the plate combination. Move my plates out the way. And we can now just peel back that die set and gently take off that tape as well. We still want to be gentle with it, even though we're going to cover this bit up. It just makes everything just neat and tidy, doesn't it? Oops. Just ease that away. And again, that can go back in the packaging. Now, if you have got areas of sticky, I wonder if I've got one next to me. Let's have a look in my little box of tricks. Who knows? Oh yeah, I have. If you've got areas of sticky from the repositionable tape that you want to get rid of, you can use just normal eraser, a normal rubber. This one is, I think it's called a cow gum rubber, to take sticky off as well. And just gently hold the paper and card in place, because you don't want to tear where that die cut line is. And just rub the surface of the cardstock where the tape was, and it will take the sticky away from the paper, from the top of the cardstock for you. Okay, so now when we come to close, you see how you got this pop out effect? Isn't that fab? So when we start building the mats and layers on top of this, it's really going to give you a different look, a different shaped finish to your card designs. So to this side, we're going to add in our green and pink design. Now, a lot of people ask me how to create the mats and layers for cards as well. And it is just a simple case of measuring. I mean, you can even write down what the card size is, measuring what this card size is, and then using smaller increments on your paper trimmer or your guillotine to trim down the mats and layers. Okay, so use it in a sense, you've obviously got to make it even. So whatever you take off one side has got to be even to the other if you want an even border all the way round. I think it was Christine who asked earlier, it might have been Michelle who asked earlier, how do we use finger lift tape? What's the easiest and little tricks? If you're struggling to get the carrier sheet off, go in with a pokey tool and fold back. You see, so you've got a little tab, a little tail hanging over the edge of the card. Same with this one, fold it back all the way around. For anywhere that's not quite stuck, just rub over with your thumb, then try again with your pokey tool, and you'll find it will give you a good stick to the card, but it will release that carrier sheet of the tape as well. And folding back. That then, when we come to stick, not only allows us to make sure we've got it nice and even all the way round before we commit, it means we've got tabs to pull. Okay, so we hold the card in place and peel away the tab, then smooth down. Obviously, once you've got one side in place, it does make the others easier, but you just grab the tab. Here's the card I'm using, Carnation Crafts. Yes, it certainly is. So the base card is 350 GSM, and then the perfect papers are Before the Rainbow perfect papers, or Colour Crave. They have different names, but they're the same thing. So the colours will match in with the vignettes for the images there. It's not 350, apologies. This is 250, this cardstock. My apologies. So you see how you've got this first mat and layer in place. And now you can see that even better pop of the white against the side there. We're going to add in another mat and layer of the green and the pink. And we're going to do the same thing again. Peel back and just fold, peel back and fold to give us our tabs. And then we want to go in, line up the edge like so. Now we're creating this look of a seamless kind of transition from the front to the back cover. So we haven't got a border of the green on this side. So when you look at the card front on, you've just got the border of green around the outside, and the pink and the green then flow into one another. You can absolutely add a separate border of well, you can add your matte layer and cut it so you've got the green there, but I just feel the flow works better on this type of card. And again, peel those tabs away to hold your design in place. Okay, so you see how that then comes together. You see what I mean, where it's going from green straight into green. If you had cut this with a matte layer here of the green, it might sort of interrupt the flow of the design a little bit, but that's looking pretty nice at the moment. We've then got obviously our one that we used earlier. So remember, we've used the split matte layer to create the pop out design, and we've also used it to create this extra aperture too. Now I want to stick that to the card, but again, I think I'm going to use a little bit of foam just to lift it from the background. I don't know where I put my foam. I don't know how things can get lost in such a small room so quickly. It is pretty ridiculous. Oh, come here, foam. Ooh, peel that away, foam. So again, strip of foam just to the back, just to lift that design up. Along the middle, and then just trimming down with my sticky scissors. 2 little bits. Oops. Oh, come here you, it's alive, that one is. Just to hold these in place. Now the key is to get it nice and lined up again to make sure everything looks neat and tidy. So I think I'm going to go this way because that's nearest to the edge. Come on you. Christine, oh it was Christine, sorry, I couldn't remember if it's Christine or Michelle, regarding the finger lift demo. Do we use nesting dies for the mat and layers? Yeah, you can absolutely use nesting dies, because they're then specifically designed to decrement down in size, giving you a nice matte layer. And often you'll see in a lot of my 8x8 demos, I have the outside of the card, which I've trimmed on a paper trimmer for my mats and layers, and then the inside I might use a shape like a circle or something like that. Those are the mats and layers, and then all created using nested die sets as well. But for this one, it's literally just using a paper trimmer and just going smaller in size. I think this is literally just one little measure on the inches there to give you that border all the way around. So same as what we did with the finger lift, just making a little tab over to one side, and then just taking our time to ensure we get that nice and lined up, just so it covers all of that white, like so. And then peel away. One more fingers and thumbs now. And it's really key, once you've got that first sticky in place, it means you can then just gently ease back and peel away the rest. So you don't have to worry it's going to go skew-whiff or anything like that. Everything you can be assured is going to stay in place. But having that repeating pattern, if you like, of colours, where we go white, green, pink, and then you're almost doing the reverse from the green into the white, and we've got then the colours in that carnation as well. So we're going to add that in. That little bit keeps lifting up. Let's add a little bit of glue if I've got some. Have I got some glue? One of these days I will be prepared for demos. Lizzie, where do I get the 1mm foam strips from? Check the website, because I think there might be some foam tape on the website. If not, then try places like Amazon. As I say, I think I use, at the moment, I'm going through some double glazing insulation, I believe it is, for tape rather than crafting tape, but it does the same thing. Pam says she takes 2 centimetres off the sides on her cutter for smaller mats. Yeah, see, it's just about finding what size works for you. What I recommend, if you're not sure, have a test on some paper. Don't use your best card to test with. Have a test on some paper and just see what you like the look of. Mix it up as well. You don't have to use the same size mats and layers for every single design. Mix it up. Perhaps you want wider mats and layers. Perhaps you want thin and wider mats and layers. You've got options there. So I've just used a little bit of glue to stick that stem just down to stop it lifting up. And we're going to add in our beautiful carnation with all its lovely decoupage layers. So for this part, I'm going to use Pinflair glue gel. Mainly because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room when I come to place these things down. It dries clear, but it also means it gives you a little bit of height and dimension. So we just lay that down like so. Just check that it's nice and even on the mats and layers. And you're going to find the stalk and things lift up. Now, if you don't want them to lift up, go in with a little bit of glue and an applicator, like so. And just add a little tiny bit of glue. This glue that I'm using here is our decoupage glue. So it's nice white glue that will dry clear. And it's got a nice quick grab to it as well. So we just hold it in place, just like so. And it will stick that down. I'm not going to stick the leaves or the fronds down at all, because I think having a little bit of movement, having a little bit of lift to them is quite nice. And in fact, you can accentuate that just by curling them with the end of a pokey tool, like so. Just to give you a little bit more drama to the card. I think that's coming along quite nicely. The nice thing about it is when you open it, you've got this sort of extended view, if you like, of the design as well, but it still folds quite nice and flat for posting. We need something in the middle. Let's go, what should we go with? Let's find a sentiment to go in the middle. So the Before the Rainbow cards and everything do have a paper kit available as well. Again, all colour matched, so you can be assured that it's all going to match in beautifully. Let's go in with Have a Wonderful Day. And these are all die cut on the sheets. These little sentiments. You've got different layers, different designs in the background as well. You've also got die cut flowers in there, but they just make for a nice little addition. So they're foiled too, which I think is wonderful. So if you are using these straight out of the carrier sheet for the design, you have got the little pips on. So again, just nice sharp pair of scissors just to neaten everything up. Lay your scissors flat against the edge of that die cut element and trim those pips down just to neaten everything up. Having your scissors sort of butt up against the card and feeding them in, if you like, means you're not going to wiggle and then go and cut into your little sentiment piece there. Just take your time to gently trim those pips down. And I think it doesn't really need much more than that, but I think that's going to look really pretty to the centre of the card. I think foam again. I think foam is a good shout for this one. So again, 1mm foam or whichever foam you have to hand. I'm going to trim that down with my sticky scissors. Just having a little bit of foam on the back is going to lift it from the background of the card, give you a little bit of drop shadow, give you a little bit more prominence for your sentiment as well. Now, I don't know whether I want it slap bang in the centre, whether I want it off to one side. That looks quite nice. Because when your card is shut, you can have the little sentiment peeking out from behind it. You could perhaps have it in the middle. You can even position it so it's hidden. You've got options when it comes to that, but I do quite fancy having it there. And then that gives you a nice space to add more in should you wish to. So I'll just sort of memorise where that is. Peel away and create that tab. And just make sure it's nice and level. You'll see I do tend to work on a gridded mat, but I don't tend to go by that. I tend to just work by eye, which isn't always successful. But it's whatever you're comfortable with. So you see how that little sentiment just ties in with the colours as well. It's a little bit wonky, but hey, who worries about that sort of thing? I still feel it needs more. Let's add more to it. This is a great thing about crafting. If you've got the little sets to be working with, you can start enjoying adding more to the designs. So we've got these little crystals. These are from the embellishments kit. And they are graduated in size. The little dinky ones are just adorable. They're so cute if you want a splattering of gems across the background. But let's go in with the second smallest size. So just get them on the end of a pokey tool. Like so. Oh, come on, you. And then let's pop them just in a little bit of an arrangement down at one side. You could absolutely graduate these if you wanted to, but I'm going to go in just with the same size, so slipping them off the pokey tool onto the cardstock. Sometimes they're a little bit of a challenge, but I'm trying to do it so you guys can see as well. Come on. So these are self-adhesive. They've got the sticky on the back, meaning they're nice and quick to use as well. So that gives you a little bit of flourish down the one corner. I think we need a little bit of balance on the other side as well. So let's repeat that to the front of that card too. Come on, little pokey tool. And just eyeing them in place to make sure they are matching the other corner there as well. A few little gems. It's just building the card. It's adding these embellishments, these little crystals, things like that, that you can have a little bit of fun with. Just pushing that into place, like so. And the final one to finish. Gone a little bit wonky, but don't hold that against me. And what else? Let's see what else I've got in my kit. What else can I throw at this card? I'm sure there was something else I wanted to put on here. Yeah, let's go either a few little Nouveau drops or glossy accents, or perhaps you want, this one is crystal glaze. This one's a little bit runnier. I don't know where my glossy accents have gone. Oh, it's obviously time for a tidy up in here, isn't it? But how about adding, oh yeah, there you go, a little tip. Don't go straight onto the card, just check before you add. How about adding a few little glistens of dew just around to give you a little glossy finish. Just dotting them, you don't need to go mad, but it just gives you a little bit of a shine off the card as well. I think we're good on that one. So do you see how that's come together? You could absolutely put a larger sentiment in there. Perhaps you want to put more flowers in there. It gives you a little bit of an overview on how the die set's cut to bring you all that shape and detail. So I'm going to flip that camera around. Oh, it's going to be really close. Hi! That was not the most elegant angle, was it? Okay, so this is the card we have just created. Obviously, allow a little bit more time for that gloss just to dry in place before it starts running off the card. But do you see how you've created this really elegant, simple, but very effective look with that sentiment to the bottom as well? And that is simply using those split matte layers. So it's one of the things we've been asked a lot about. Hopefully that all made sense. I will obviously take any questions if anyone's got any questions. Sylvia, ordering off your website, do you still get your Create and Craft discount? No, we are a separate company to Create and Craft. But yeah, have a look at the website. Sometimes, you know, there's little offers and things like that. So hunt around for those. Thank you. Lots of people saying a nice card. Thank you very much. That's very kind. Flower off the bloom. No, it is a die set, this one, Leslie. But we do have, it is actually on the USB as well. If you wanted to create the same sort of thing using the flowers off the USB, the Carnation blooms, we can absolutely do that. Dawn, this is first time I managed to watch live. That's lovely. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you'll be back again. I hope I haven't put you off. Okay, I don't think I've got any other questions there. Fiona, sneaky peek time, yeah, maybe. So we have got a few little sneaky peeks coming up. There are 2 sets of shows next week. So you probably already know we've got the Back to Air on Monday, which is the Beneath the Cherry Blossom, which is just an absolutely stunning collection. Really, really gorgeous card shape in there. Elongated frame die, which is just beautiful and so useful in so many other designs. So it has like a Far Eastern influence. Set around, you know, those kind of paintings where you've got kind of the tall paintings with either Chinese or Japanese writings on them, and they've got that lovely coarse sort of canvas in the background and these wonderful fluid looks to the artwork. It's that kind of thing. That's what we got on Monday, and I believe our first show is at 12 o'clock on Monday, Monday the 13th. I think it's me and Charlie, so watch out for some lovely sneaky peeks, because the design team are just tremendous in what they do, and they've created more samples new samples. So if you have watched the show before, you'll be able to tune in for new inspiration. Perhaps you've already got the collection and want to see some more demos and things like that. There is absolutely so much to go. Oh, and obviously when we launched, when we launched Beneath the Cherry Blossom back in January, wow, I mean January, goodness me, hasn't time flown. It was before we launched the mirrored vignettes. So quite rightly, we've then been able to redo the vignettes to include the mirrors for you for Monday. I think they'll be ready on the website on Sunday, the night beforehand. If you have previously downloaded the vignettes, just download them again and you'll have access to the mirrored files for Beneath the Cherry Blossom, which is fantastic. Let me just scroll back. Can you use the dies without the vignettes? Yeah, Josephine, absolutely. You can just cut the dies from coloured card if you want to lay them up that way. There are some really pretty designs whereby if you cut them from like pearlescent white card and then layer them up, even the decoupage layers, it gives you such a sophisticated look. So you don't have to use the artwork, you can cut them however you want, or perhaps you want to cut them from white card and colour them in using your ink lily pens or your watercolour mediums. You can absolutely do that as well. Definitely if I get any more dies, I'll have to get somewhere big to live. I think we know that feeling. Yeah, I'm there as well. The mice dies. Oh, I do have news. Okay, so I do have news about the mice dies. Thank you, Christine, for asking me about that, because I did get a phone call before this live from the team, the wonderful team back in the warehouse. The mice dies are currently out of stock. However, we do know just how popular they are. We have seen and adored your wonderful card makes with them. They have been so funny. The one, oh, I can't remember the lady who put it on. I can't remember the lady's name, please forgive me. But she used the cake, the little mice on her cake, and it was just gorgeous as little cake toppers. Absolutely stunning. If we can, we're trying to find out. So between my phone call earlier before the Facebook Live and this Facebook Live, the team are working on seeing whether we can bring you a pre-order on the mice dies. So because they keep coming into stock and then going out so quickly, we thought it might be a really good idea to offer them on pre-order so you can then go on and secure your order for them. Just simply because we can see how many people are signing up to get notifications of when they're back in stock, and every time they come back in stock they're going straight out again. So if you guys would be interested in that, for one, on a pre-order, we'll try and make that happen. I'm hoping we'll be able to turn it quite quickly as well for you. So just drop me some comment if you'd be interested in the pre-order on the mice. Do let us know and we will try and arrange that after this Facebook Live for you. And I'm sure there was something else I needed to tell you about. Maybe. Or maybe. Sorry, I will stop teasing. So, Hannah, can we have stamps to go with the beautiful Flynn, Fifi, Magnus and Maya? Yeah, I can feed that back, absolutely. All I can say is stay tuned, because obviously some things are nice to be kept as surprises, so do stay tuned on that one. If you do have any requests and things, obviously we can't guarantee that we can fulfill all your requests and things like that. The messages for sneaky peeks coming in, that's brilliant. But it's always nice to hear from you, because you guys are the crafters, you guys are the ones who are going to be using your die sets and things like that. So please do let us know what you'd like to see more of. A couple of people saying, yeah, to pre-order, I will try and get that arranged for you. Sylvia, what is our website? Our website is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. From there, you'll be able to find all the die sets and the vignettes. Yeah, lots of people on the pre-order for that. Okay, right, perfect. Well, after this Facebook Live, I'll get straight on the phone and go get the go-ahead from the team to get that set up for you guys. So, I did promise you this morning, I was a little bit of a tease yesterday, so I do apologise, but it does make me giggle. A little sneaky peek for something that's launching next week. I will show, what should I show you first? I will obviously, before the launch, do a proper Facebook Live where we go through, look at all the files, look at all the designs, look at all the vignettes. But I am really keen to show you the launch we have next week. Big tease. I am a big tease. I'm sorry. It just makes me giggle. Ta-da! Oh, look how yummy it is. So you guys who are keen Carnation crafters may already be familiar with this artwork. This is Fantastic Forest and Tranquil Times. And you might notice this is a little bit larger than what we've done before. I wonder why. We've also got Tranquil Times, and look at the foiling. That is just lush. We have got new USB launching. So if you guys are keen USBers, we have got another USB launching next week. It is launching on Friday, and it features the most gorgeous array of designs from Tranquil Times and Fantastic Forest. So I think only 2 people guessed. maybe three from the sneaky peek. But as with all our USBs, there's so much more to show you with them. Yes, there's the artwork on there. Yes, there are extra projects on there. Yes, there are backing papers. But, oh, Leslie, how did before? I didn't personally do this one. This one was made by Fiona. But it's a combination of the speed cut. So there's a file that will cut the outside of the design, and the detailed cut, which technically cuts the inside, but you can also use it to draw. So that's how Fiona has designed the foil on that. There are so many projects which are just lend themselves so well, and so many ways to use this gorgeous USB collection. Just look at the colours, it's just so sumptuous, isn't it? Lovely little easel card there. So great for storytelling, great even for Christmas, things like that, because you've got, you know, your deers in there, you've got your forest in there, you've got your woodland scenes in there as well. This is just cute. Look at this. This is made by Janine as well. Probably not supposed to be showing you all of these, but I don't think the team are watching. They might be. I might get in trouble after this. But look what Janine's done, a little stationery kit. Absolutely stunning. Do you need a scan and cut for the USB collection? You don't necessarily need a scan and cut. It is for any electronic die cutting machine that will read SVG files. Bear in mind, all of these designs are available as dies if you're a die cutter, so you've got that option there. But if you want a different way of using them, if you want the ability to size them, if you want the ability to manipulate the files, that is the way to go with the SVG files on the USB. Now, myself personally, I'm a big scan and cut user, so we'll be demonstrating using the scan and cut. I probably won't necessarily demo the foiling technique on air, because it's probably not something we've got to go alongside USB. It will be more demos that feature key elements from the USBs, but it might be something we look at in a Facebook Live, for example. So pop it in the Facebook Live request post. That would be a good way so I can remember to go back to it. Janine is such a brilliant card designer. Yeah, she is the best. She's just awesome, and she is such a big help to me. So, as you know, all the design team are, really couldn't do any of this without them. So yeah, that's a sneaky peek. Sneaky peek and a half. I'm sure I wasn't supposed to show you all of that. So we've got 2 shows next week. We have got Beneath the Cherry Blossom, back to air. So do tune in, even if you've seen it before, or even if you've got the collection. We have got more demonstrations and ways to use the design and the ideas as well. And then we've got the USB on a Friday, and I will be back here. I'm just trying to think where I am next week and what I'm doing. Yeah, I should be able to be back here on Thursday next week to bring you another Facebook Live and a proper sneaky peek at all the files included within the USB as well. When the USB should be on Friday at the moment. That's what it's planned in for. How easy is it to use a USB? It's super easy. We've got step-by-step instructions on the website in PDF form that you can download and print off. Essentially, the easiest way to think about it is exactly the same as your die cutting. If you can do your die cutting, it is pretty much the same when it comes to a USB, because you're printing out your artwork. The only difference is, rather than putting a physical die over the top of it, you're aligning an SVG file over the top of it. So it's pretty much the same. Any more questions, guys, before I log off for the afternoon? As always, I will stay about for a little while after the live, just in case anyone does have any questions. And if not, I shall see you, well, probably, Will I do one on Sunday? No, I will see you Monday for the show at 12 o'clock. And if not, I will see you on Thursday for another Facebook Live. Hope you guys keep safe and well, and see you soon. Bye.